So it looks like the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing is slowly being swept under the rug. More and more the major news networks that are out there are talking less and less about it. This is what has caught me off guard the most, is that President Trump does not want to talk about it. It seems this has really been like actually a struggle for me, because he has been the person that has been the most open and honest, transparent, overly transparent person in political office ever. And he does not want to talk about this. But I'm wondering, and we're going to take a look at this from Diary of a CEO. Stephen Bartlett had on there Eric Weinstein, and they got into the Epstein thing because Eric vaguely knew Jeffrey Epstein and thought he was a creep and all that, all that good stuff. But he brings up about, was there more going on, and was Jeffrey Epstein involved in more governmental, deep state kind of issues? But let's take a look at this.
What I'm hearing is you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was planted in some way to interfere.
He was a construct, is what I said.
He was a construct in some way to mess with the progression of physics.
Jeffrey Epstein, apparently, I think I'll tell you what I said. When I met him, when the meeting was over, I immediately called my wife and I said, I have just met a construct. She said, what do you mean? I said, this person is not who they claim to be. Somebody has constructed this human being to be something that they are not, which is a hedge fund genius. Somebody who could understand the euro and the yen like nobody else. Bullshit. Not true. I believe that whoever constructed Jeffrey Epstein was running multiple different programs through the same thing, having put in a large initial investment. It wasn't about one thing. If you build a mall, you don't just have clothing stores in the mall. You have a food court in the mall, right? You have jewelry in the mall. You have all sorts of different things in the mall. Jeffrey Epstein was a construct of something that was running multiple things. One of those things was science. And I don't think that the science and the pedophilia were necessarily in the same bucket.
So there is so much underneath the surface. And Trump was not the person that was like, before he even got reelected, we got to find out everything about Jeffrey Epstein. When asked about, did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself? He didn't. He just like, yeah, I'm assuming he did. Yeah, he had a lot to lose. Where the whole Jeffrey Epstein killing himself, I'm probably like 60% that he did not kill himself. I think he was probably murdered, and maybe there's the 40% that he killed himself. It seems like there is something so underneath the surface that is happening here. And it seems so weird that it's so coordinated that everybody is wanting to move past it. And even Trump is saying that people are bad people by wanting to talk about this and find out about it. It's so weird right now that he is not addressing it. And I mean like big time addressing it. Because this could be the iceberg that could just unravel the whole Trump administration if he does not get ahead of it. The people around Trump need to talk to him about this and say, we got to get our story straight. We got to just daylight the hell out of everything. Show it all. And I think that is what he's saying he's going to do, but their stories have just tripped up on each other and nothing aligns at all. Nothing makes sense. Everything contradicts everything. That is just raising conspiracy theories by the day. And now that they just don't want to talk about it at all, even the main news networks, they're being pushed to be silent about this issue. And it's like, it might be nothing, but I guarantee it's not. There is something very deep under here. And Tucker Carlson has talked on this big, and he's been a big megaphone about, just tell me what's going on. Just tell me what's happening here. Because just telling me to shut up and not ask questions is not helping. It's not helping at all. They want to just make it seem like Jeffrey Epstein, he was a pedophile. He did a lot of bad things. We have all this video footage about him. We have all this money he had. They have all these records of everybody going to his island and everything, but still there's no there. And then it's like, really the main issue, what Tucker has brought up is, it's what was happening. Who was funding Jeffrey Epstein? And it's maybe not just the CIA. It might have been You hear about the Mossad, and that's why this is getting really dicey, because it's bringing Israel into this. It's bringing Israel into this, and like their national security, how they're heavily involved, and that's what Tucker is kind of driving at. That they are heavily involved in this whole cover up something. But it's probably a lot of governmental agencies throughout the world and a lot of just big time players. There is something very big happening with this story, and it's growing by the day, but they're telling everybody to shut up about it. They don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear the name Epstein ever again. And it's not about the man. The man is becoming a myth. The man is becoming it doesn't even matter at all about him personally anymore. It's about the situation, the iceberg. That we've hit the very top of the iceberg, but there's so much more underneath, and this could sink everything if we're not careful. Trump needs to definitely get ahead of it. And man, the people that are in the administration, such as I mean, you could say Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. We need people to stand up, And I know they're trying to get their story straight. They probably don't know anything. They're maybe not even seeing anything, because everything's just been incinerated and it's vanishing. There's nothing. They don't see anything there. But I guarantee it's because there's higher ups, even above the higher ups, that is just stopping this, and they're trying to squelch it. And it's kind of like just a regular guy just walking through a room, and he just stubs his toe. He still looks down. And it was a boulder. It was something huge that he just hit. And now everybody else above him is just saying, don't mind that. Keep walking. Keep walking, everyone. There's something there. And I think either way, just daylight is the best medicine. Light is the best medicine. Transparency is the best medicine to cure this. And I think Trump needs to, I don't know why, it's really baffling me why this is the thing that is just messing him up so much. He doesn't want to touch it at all. And it seems weird. And you have the whole Elon thing of saying that Trump's in the list. I mean, his name's going to be on some type of paperwork, There's going to be a lot of people's names that's going to be on, because this guy had tentacles that went everywhere. But it's not about the man, Jeffrey Epstein. It's about the issue. It's about what he is symbolizing, what he is emblematic of this. This is not even just the deep state. This is the deep, deep state that is trying to cover this up. World government, overarching things that are trying to squelch this. And I think Trump and his administration, they thought they didn't know what they were walking into. They didn't know the iceberg they were about to just land on. All right. I know you loved this video. If you have, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, follow me on X and Instagram at Brandon Fogel, and think about all this stuff, and don't let this story go under the radar. Peace.